What's up, Beardbrand? Charlie, back from the dead. I'm going to be doing a mid-skin fade on my man, Charlie. We'll call him Charles. We're going to do it probably down to foils, balding it off around the edges, and then blend our way up, and then get rid of all this mad bulk. He's got like sheep hair. It's mental. So yeah, all forwards, and done. Sweet. So to start off my mid-skin fade, I'm going to section off all of this weight up here. Just get that out of my way. And there we are. I'm left with all of the side here. I'm actually going to be starting off with these Red Stag clippers with the flat blade. Just brush the hair down and take it actually just below the temple. Like that, and then just follow that. And this is my baseline. Same again. Let's brush that down. Now I've got that baseline, let's just remove all these hairs underneath it. Now I'm using my Andis detailers, and I'm just going to tidy up around these edges before I go in with the foils. The reason I'm using the detailers before I use the foils is because sometimes I find that when I go straight from the balding blade to the foils, it doesn't actually pick up all the hairs. It's just not quite short enough. So I'm using these detailers just to get it that little bit shorter before I go in there with the foils. And I take them probably just underneath that zero line, just underneath it. I've used different techniques for fading. I've gone from longest grades, then all my way down to the shortest. I've done my shortest grade all the way up to the longest, and now what I'm doing is just working the in-between. And I feel like that's quite a foolproof way of fading. You know, it's hard to mess it up. So what I've done is I've done my zero, and now I'm going to be going as short as I can underneath it. Don't worry about the hair above it, just worry about underneath it. So what I've done is now I've just got my neck brush, I've done a little bit of talcum powder on it, and I'm just going to dust down my section. It just cleans it up, gets rid of any of the hairs that are stuck to his neck, and makes a nice fresh section ready for my foils. Now, foils, the Andis foils. Let's do this. With the sides, I like to use just one blade. Just flick it around the ear. Sweet. Same with the other ear. Keep a lot of tension at the very bottom, and as you go up, slowly release it. Move the ear out your way. Sometimes I feel like there's a harsh line there, so what I do is I just dab down. Sweet, so that's both the sides done. Now move on to the back. Same thing, except now you flip them over. Skin taut. And just get in there. Keep an angle on the foils as you go from left to right. It just stops any like proper wedges forming in the hair. Sweet. So I've now got my wall icons, got my second guard, 2 guard, and I'm just gonna remove the bulk on this. Keep it flat to the head, and then as I make my way up the head, I flick out. Nah, that's better. I've now got my 1.5 guard. So what I'm going to do, what I do now, so I've done my zero line, then my detailers, then my foils. So that's the bottom part of the fade done. So I now work my way up. So now I've just gone, this is the 2 guard, and then I'm going to go 1.5, and then I'm going to go 1, and then I'm going to go 0.5, and that'll be it out. So you work your way down, and then you work your way up. One guard, same thing. Hold it flat, flick it out. So while I've disappeared off of the YouTube scene, I've still been obviously barbering, still working on the haircuts, and I reckon in my time of absence, this is the fade that best works for me. There's 101 ways to fade, and this is the one that I find's the easiest and more like foolproof because you can't really go wrong. So, and what I mean by that is, let's say I'm doing this 1 guard and I see a line form. The reason that line is there is because my 1.5 that I'd done before, I ended up taking it too high. So then if I can't move on to my 0.5 unless I see it flush. So I'm now on my 0.5. So now, no guard, and I'm just going to have it open on that 0.5. And my line's on its last legs now, so I'm just going to flick away at that, and then I'm probably going to go from my 0.5 to my 0.25, and then just to my 0. So yeah, this is my go-to preferred way of fading. If somebody comes into the shop, this is how I'm going to do it. And this is what I feel like is the most effective and quickest way. I could probably do this fade within 15 minutes. Sweet, so to finish off my back and sides, now I've got my spray bottle. And I'm just going to wet down that weight there that I left with my grade 2. If you remember what I did at the very beginning. And then that will be my fade complete. Get your wide tooth comb and your passion scissors or whatever scissors you use of choice, and just comb off the head. So nice and tight against the head and just lift off. Sweet, and there we go. So that is my skin fade. So just to recap, started off a 0 here, then my detailers, then my foils, and then I went up. I went 2, 1/2, 1, 0.5, then 0.25. And there we go. Nice one. Now we're moving on to the top. So what I'm going to do, because his hair is like sheep's hair and it's just mentally thick, it's got ridiculous hair, I'm going to find his crown, comb it in its natural form, so I'm going to know how it wants to sit. And Charlie, you like to flick it off to the right, innit? Sweet. So that's how his crown wants to sit. Like that. It actually naturally wants to flick off in a clockwards direction. That's how it wants to go. So that's how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to start off taking orange segments all the way around it. There's loads of terminology for it. I call it orange segments. People call it just like in clockwork. So that was like 6 o'clock, and you just go all the way around like a clock. You know, and that to me, as I learned when I was in a salon, that's how you cut a crown, so you don't get those random bits that stick up. As long as you cut it how it naturally wants to sit, work around it. When it comes to double crowns, that's a completely different story, and yet one crown in a double crown is always stronger than the other. Now I'm done with the crown, I'm going to be taking my sections across the head and just point cut into it. Sweet, so we're getting to the front of the hairline now, and he likes to keep his fringe that bit longer and sweeping it back off to the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm actually going to pull it back ever so slightly. That's called over-directing the hair, so it ends up making it longer. And then just point cut that. I'm following a guideline that I cut in at the back here. So again, pick up the hair, drag it back. There's my guideline. So let's copy it. That guideline I've had with me from the beginning. Sweet, on the fringe now, and I'm still point cutting. I've point cutted the whole haircut. The reason I've point cutted it is because I want to add texture. What I found with sheep hair, which basically means just really over coarse, thick hair, I call it sheep hair. That if you just solid cut that, you're going to see loads of lines going through the hair. You're just going to see loads of blunt lines going through it, whereas if you point cut the whole thing, it will just seamlessly blend in with each other. And then what you do is you take pieces of it. This is where the hair is going to be blending into the side. There you go. So pick it up. See there's that corner there? The reason that corner is there, it's just because that's where all the hair is meeting. You're going to see just loads of random corners in this little section here, and that's just where the two hairs collide. Another corner there. Once you've cut the top, this is just like the finishing technique, just to make it sit flush. Again, still point cutting, because one blunt cut will leave a line. Now I'm moving up, done with my shears, now I'm moving over to my blending shears. This is a technique that I picked up over in Rotterdam with my man Craig over there. Basically what you do is I've cut all the hair to sit in this direction, so now I'm going to go against it with these scissors. So let's pick up a piece, let's go for this side, and go against the way it naturally wants to sit. And then it'll stand up in my comb. See all the hair's standing up because I'm going against it? So what you do is you see it's going against, and you just go for it. What this does is it takes out weight, and because you're going against that growth pattern, you won't leave any scissor marks. Pick up the hair. There's a barbershop out in Rotterdam, quite a well-known barbershop, you guys might have heard of it, called Scorum, and they have a barbering academy called the Old School Barbering Academy. And then this is where I picked up that technique. Yeah, it's real handy. It saved my ass on a fair few haircuts. Sweet. And what I like to do is just now that we're just doing finishing touches, I just see a little bit of weight going through this fringe. Where this hair is going forwards, this hair is going backwards. You might see it collides here. See a little bit of weight there. Again, wide tooth comb, regular shears, pick up the hair, and where the two hairs meet, you just chop through it. So I find where the hair meets, so it's right there, just dash through it. And this again is just how you seamlessly blend two hairs together. Just two, yeah, two individual strands. That's all I'm working for here. I'm doing it strand by strand. I'm just putting in some matte hair gel in the hair when it's wet though. And I'm gonna blow dry it in. The reason I do it in when it's wet and then dry it in is so that once I've dried it into a style and I'm still not happy with the way the hair's sitting, I can go back in there. Whereas if I put it in when it's dry, then it's gonna be real hard for me to make any adjustments to it. And me being a picky barber that I am, it's very rare that I'm happy with my haircut. My round brush, my hair dryer. And let's just dry this forwards. That's how that wants to sit, that's how I'll do it. So yeah, what we've done is we've just taken it down to like midway on the temple there, and we just nicely fade away out. Tight, brother. Sweet. Pretty much just doing this to the camera now. So Charlie, my man, how's that feel?
Yeah, it's good, thanks.
Nice. Want any product, wax, clay?
No, I'm right, thanks.
Keep it natural. Sweet, man. Well, there we are. That's Charlie's mid-fade, and then all forwards, choppy and messy, get rid of that bulk. With a sweet ass come over and spin ya.
Thanks for watching this video. Beardbrand has launched a private community called The Alliance. It's for men who are looking to invest in themselves and who are looking to keep on growing. Click the link over there and come join us, or stick around and watch some more awesome videos.